Hey, Sarah, how are you doing?
You can hear me.
Your first one on. Hold on, buddy. Come in. Yeah. I see you're connecting the audio too. There we go. So here we go. A little late, but we're getting there. So how many days have you been shooting so far?
This is day 4 of 15.
15. So yeah, it's a long schedule. And like you said, you're in the middle of summer, beginning of summer in Florida. Not quite the hurricane season yet, but you know, every day between about 2 o'clock and about 6 o'clock, it rains here in Florida. It's the rainy season. So that really kind of puts a damper on the rest of the day. It's hot and muggy. It's like, so any, have you learned any tips over the years about, you know, keeping cool? And I have a ton, but
oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love, honestly, Randy, I know that you have so much experience. I'd love to pick your ear sometime, but for me, I really like to cover up on those like Columbia SPF shirts, so you don't have to worry about getting burned all day. Those will save you from tons of sunburn. Staying cool, you got to stay hydrated. Like, drink way more water than you think you do. I know things are chaotic out there, but you have to do that. I mean, and in terms of protecting gear, like, you just have to have tarps at the ready for camera equipment, for audio equipment. Everything has to be ready to go at a moment's notice, because sometimes it'll just dump buckets of water on top of everything.
Sure. And if you don't know, you know, visqueen's really handy, but there's a company called Grab It bags. If you go to filmtools.com, Grab It bags, you know, I have them for my mag liners that will fit completely over the mag liners. It will fit completely over a really built camera, and you know, they fold up and fit in your pocket basically. So they're really and they're like, you know, $15 each, as opposed to like massive amounts of money for.
Oh boy!
Right
Here we go. Ronald Diltz, first AD, just rolled up on set.
So kind of introduce yourself for us, Ronald.
Introduce yourself, Ronald.
Hey everyone, this is Ronald Diltz II.
How you doing, Mr. Diltz?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Working me hard out here. You know?
I see you guys are making it happen over there.
Good to see you again, Ronald.
We're trying our best. Good to see you all, man. Thank y'all for being tuning in. We were talking about possibly doing another one of these, where we have the guys out here. We'll do a session, so we'll be able to answer any questions and all that good stuff at a later date. So, but no, we thank y'all for tuning in, and it's been fun. Assistant director on the project, so just trying to wrangle everybody, keep us on schedule. So you already know.
James, are they taking a break? Can you walk us down there?
Yeah, they're getting set for the next
shot. I was going to say that's a Ronald question. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera
real quick.
So while they're doing, now they're shooting right downtown Sanford, Florida. Just stop talking.
Yeah. All right, let's bring in the dragon. The other one was only like.
All right, stand by.
This is really awesome.
Hey, Randy, can you still hear me?
I can. We're just gonna watch for a while, because if I talk, my picture comes up there, so I won't.
Okay. I actually have Andy Rout here. This is our audio master here.
Hey, Randy.
It's a nice bag, Andy.
I said, nice bag, Andy. So do you want to maybe tell them your responsibilities and kind of how you've been staying cool? And
Oh, hold on.
we are quiet on set. Quiet on set, everybody. Sorry about that. We're gonna roll back out.
So James, can you stay there and just show us the shot?
Yeah, if you'd like, I can do that.
What not? See Brian. That's it. Yeah, Brian. So here, Brian, and
So this is audio. This is audio changing probably batteries or checking mics. And who's the old guy behind the camera?
Here's Ryan Funk, our director of photography.
Hello, everyone.
Introduce us to the director if he's there.
Sorry, what was that?
Who's the director?
This is Lance Smith.
This is Lance, the
Hey,
director.
we're doing a talkie. It's a lot of fun. Andy's into this sound thing.
Oh, I am.
All right, places. All right, quiet on that. This is the picture.
That's my job.
Here we go. Going down and on action. Oh!
Okay, so while they're doing that, let me just tell you what's going on there. So, so if you look at Andy, he's got a audio mixer bag on him. He's got wireless mics in there. He's got a shotgun mic. We're going to go again here.
Nice. Really nice. Thanks.
Yes. So the woman there shooting is called a set photographer. And so any film that you do, you need to have part of the deliverables is to have a series of behind the scenes. And so depending on who you're shooting for, there's a lot of requirements for that sort of stuff. And those, on most film sets, there's also a behind the scene film crew, kind of what we're doing.
Filmmaking, yay!
So what I was going to tell you about Andy there is that he's got a boom mic and he's also got a wireless mic. And the reason they do that is because the boom mic picks up presence of the area that you're in, and the wireless mics gives them the chest resonance out of it. So can you track down Mr. Funk there and see if we can talk to Mr. Funk there?
Here he is.
Hey.
Ryan, introduce yourself. Have him do that one more time, James. We're not hearing him. I think you're muted.
Trying to get us some better activity here. How about now?
There you
Hello,
go.
check, check, check.
Yep, we can hear you.
Hello, everyone. This is Ryan Funk from Location Lighting. I'm here on the set of A Time for Every Purpose. I'm one of the producers and the cinematographer of the piece.
So
What up,
Ryan,
Salem? How are you?
anybody have any right click the three blue dots in the upper corner? Okay, so if I right click on that. Yeah, so Ryan, tell us about the cameras that you're shooting.
Okay, so I'm shooting on the Red Dragon X as my A camera, and that is with the 6K upgrade. And I also have a B camera, which is the Red Komodo, and that's also in 6K. I'm using DZO film Vespid lenses, all prime kit, and then one wide zoom 11 to 20 Tokina cinema zoom. It's fully equipped with all tilted cage and backs to allow audio to hook up to us. And then we have wooden camera, handheld rigs and follow focuses and all that fun stuff. So they're big rigs, but they're a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah. And so, and you're shooting 6K?
We are shooting 6K so we can have a 4K deliverable in case for a 4K deliverable. Yeah. We're also shooting 2:3:4 aspect ratio. So we're going to shoot widescreen with it. And then, yeah, that's it. 90-degree shutter angle. One of my favorites.
And so why did you choose 90 degree?
The movie is pretty intense. There's a lot of trials and tribulations. It is a faith-based film. So typically in those situations, we want to travel people through hard times, and utilizing a 90-degree shutter angle will help intensify any movement that the actor does as well as the camera. And we're going about 90 or 90% handheld on everything. So it just helps intensify the imagery.
Yeah. And about how many shots are you guys doing a day?
I don't know. It's been between 20 and 25 shots a day. It being handheld, it's been a lot easier to set up, and we're focusing mainly on making sure that the lighting is being controlled per scene and allowing it to giving us time to change each scene and stuff, because we're in the same location, quite a bit of scenes, if that makes any sense.
And so there's a good question from Salim about why are you shooting 2 cameras, and when do you shoot 2 cameras?
Okay, so a lot of the times in this piece alone, it's very dialogue heavy. So it's typically between, say, a boyfriend and girlfriend, or police and vagrants and stuff like that. So to speed things up, we would shoot 2 cameras. And a lot of the times what I'm doing is utilizing on my close-ups, I'll utilize 100 mil for the character that's not really going through any trials or tribulations. And then I'll tighten up with 125 to make sure that they're nice and deep and tight, shallowing up the depth a little bit more and all that. But it would speed up the process, and it would speed up the day so we don't go over 10 to 11 hours a day.
Yeah. So Vladimir was asking one more time about your lenses.
Okay. I'm shooting the DZO Film Vespid Prime Kit. It's a 25, 35, 50, 75, 100, and 125. And then we also have the 90 mil macro, because a lot of the cutaways and stuff were getting real deep in macro shots to help intensify specific moments. And then we have an 11 to 20 Tokina Cinema Prime that we're utilizing for all of our ultra wides and wide shots.
One of my favorite lenses. I have 2 of them.
Yeah.
So I have Jasmine was asking, she's going to be shooting her first film as a cinematographer in October. I was wondering if you had any practical tips for her. How long do we have?
Yeah, right. There's a lot of one things that I like to do, especially coming from a gaffer position or a lighting designer, is I try to utilize as much natural light as possible. But when I talk natural lighting, a lot of the times I mean per what the script entails. So if it's an abstract film, you have to utilize abstract lighting to kind of be an asset to a film such as. But in this situation, I'm trying to utilize all natural lighting, stuff that's already built into houses, or utilizing the sun and just shaping the sun out and stuff like that. So it'll lessen the time of setup, but still getting a beautiful shape and beautiful contrast and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so for those of you, if you want to see a really great video right now that's up online, Aperture's YouTube page, they have a great video on lighting, stylized versus realistic lighting. That's a lot, just all about what Ryan just talked about. That was great. So who is your ACs and how are they doing?
So I have Ian Sasso, who is a Full Sail grad from the master's program. And then I have Alex Berman, who is also a Full Sail grad. And my man right here, James Bailey. This guy's my second. He's one of my favorites for sure, but they're all killing it. So Ian Sasso is actually not so much of assist, but what he does is he manages the camera department, and then he shoots the second camera. And then Alex is my official first, and then James is my second. And they're all killing it. They're amazing. But I got to give props to my lighting and grip crew. They're unreal. So good. So I'm super happy.
So are you using your lighting track on this?
Yes, we are. And it's right there across the street. There it is, right over there. So you can see it's just a small lighting trailer, but because of the digital age and LED world, we were able to get a smaller footprint, and so we could come to downtown and stuff and not take up too many spots and everything.
Yeah.
Most of the lighting we're using is aperture lighting, and that's been pretty much it. Just aperture lighting and a lot of rags, a lot of stuff to shape the light.
Great. And so how big is your G&E?
G&E, I have a gaffer, a key grip, 2 best boys, and 2 thirds. And then we have 1 floater, about 5 days for the.
Can you explain the difference between all those people for anybody?
Sure. The gaffer is my right-hand man. So is the key grip. I hate saying just one of them, but the gaffer, basically, the way I talk about is that he's the one that designs the lighting scheme, and the key grip is kind of the guy that shapes it. And then also the key grip is also in charge of safety. So if there's like we had not an incident today, but we were monitoring the lightning strikes and stuff like that. And if it comes within a specific mileage, the key grip is able to call the show and basically shut us down until the storm passes and stuff. So he's in control of all the safety. And if there's any prop weapons or anything, he's got to do the safety meetings on them, as well as a prop weapon manager and stuff, so on and so forth. But the best boys are the ones that kind of maintain and take control of all the paperwork for the crew, the lighting and grip crew, as well as make sure that the inventory and all the gear is in tip-top shape and the inventory is all present. And then the thirds are like the top grip and electric. So they're the ones that basically are in the best boy in the gaffer and key grips pocket, doing all the heavy lifting and all that.
Now, do you have a Ginny on set, or are you doing mostly batteries?
Well, we're doing mostly batteries. Today, since we're outside all day, we're literally utilizing all shaping. So all rags, all 4x, all solids and nets. And then, but we do have a Ginny tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be shooting in a cemetery with air star balloons and heavier aperture lighting, utilizing colors like cyan and yellows and stuff like that in that scene. So that's when we're going to probably utilize the generator, because unfortunately there's not a lot of electricity at graveyards. So yeah, we'll have generators on set.
So talk to them about the air stars.
So air stars are balloons that float off of helium, and they have all different size calibers, like 4K, 2K lights, 4K lights, LEDs. They can also come in 5500 and 3200 degrees Kelvin. They also have bicolor lighting where they can basically do all kinds of different colors and shapes and whatnot. And then what they do is they fill these balloons up, and then we have control of the whole area. It basically allows us to blanket a giant area and create the textures and stuff for our backgrounds. But it's also really good for good fill, clean fill, and moonlight, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a great use. I love those. And so also talk to me about your relationship with the director. I mean, how are you guys communicating back and forth about visually what he's looking for? Do you have storyboards? Do you have production meetings?
We had multiple production meetings for the last 2 months. We have what we call a shot Bible, which is a line script with I think it was 20 pages of shot design per scene, and it was all broken down. We basically took that as a kind of like a Bible where we walk in, we look at it, we check it out, and then we would shape our shots past that. But the director and he is a very big performance-based director, so he focuses a lot on the actors and allows me to shape and design the shots. If he has any issues and stuff, he's more than welcome to communicate with me and let me know what he likes better. But I always go to him when we are setting up the shots and whatnot and explain to him and block with the actors with him. And he says yes or no. And I'll even bring my camera out and show him the whole scene and everything. Like, this is what we're thinking. When he approves, that allows my gaffer and key grip to go in and light the whole scene and we just move on from there. But he's been unbelievable. He's super good with the talent, and he's trusts all of us to do whatever we need to do to get the job done and be a major asset to the emotional and psychological appeal of the film.
Yeah, that's what, when I'm DPing, I tend to try to do the same thing for the director. I try to free him up so he can concentrate on the acting.
That was our,
and I run the crew. Yeah.
What's cool about it is in pre-pro, not only do we go over shots and all the basic stuff, but how we were going to communicate and go, okay, do you feel comfortable if I did this? Do you feel comfortable if I do that? We went back and forth and really built a formula on how to communicate and talk to each other. And it's been an unbelievable blessing because we don't want any kind of animosity because that spreads like cancer throughout the crew. So we want to make sure that we keep a real positive head and we keep a real positive push for the piece so we can get everything done. And we don't want anybody to have any kind of animosity or say anything bad. We want to have a really positive set, make sure everything's very clean.
And that's really important, especially when you're working that kind of hours outside in the heat, the more that everybody's happy, the better the set is.
100%. Yeah. And what's cool is it doesn't feel like a job or anything. You're actually having a lot of fun and everybody's having fun together and everybody's respecting each other and all that. I think that comes from the top. Like if the top respects everybody and everybody at the top tries to, or, shows a multitude of respect in all directions, then it's gonna also be seen throughout the whole crew as well.
Yeah, Vlad was asking a question about you guys using any dollies or jibs.
Yeah, we're using. So I have a Dana dolly, so we're using the Dana dolly with this, which again has a smaller footprint. It's a little bit easier to maneuver. It's a lot faster to build, and it saves us time. But we also have a 10-foot jib arm that we rig to it, so I can get the Tokina ultra wide lens on the floor without seeing the track, so I can push in nice slow move. So, and then I put those on turtle-based C-stands. So it's basically like a 10-foot jib, so I can move up and down, but also push forward and back. And I can also do swinging moves while bringing the dolly back and forth. It's a really cool technique. And it was something that I've been testing out for like the last 2 months. And yes, you're more than welcome to see it. Maybe we could take some photos and stuff and have it posted so you guys can check it out. There's already videos and stuff, which is awesome. So maybe we'll try to send some out.
Yeah, I do the same thing with my Dana dolly. I put it on a couple low boys and put a little jib arm on it, and it just makes it's incredibly fast to set up and incredibly smooth, and it just gives you so much tremendous flexibility.
And what we're using it for mainly is since everything's about 90% handheld. A lot of the times when we're handheld, we're showing a lot of intensity and edginess and stuff like that. But when the scene changes from that intensity to something maybe more enlightening, what we'll do is we'll utilize that movement and then settle in and sit them so we can jump onto sticks and have nice, clean, smooth shots out of that intensity.
So let's talk about that, because a lot of people don't realize that when you're moving a camera, you don't want to move from a moving camera to a static camera. You want to have that moving camera come to a stop and then cut to a static camera.
Right.
Or you cut from a moving camera to a moving camera. So, or you can have a static camera that's moving and then cut to a moving shot. So there's a little bit more involved in it than just, doing a moving shot versus a static shot.
There's a lot of technique when it comes to designing those types of shots, because we try to design everything with an absolute purpose. Like we don't want to do a shot just because it's cool looking. You know what I mean? So these shots are specifically designed from going from jarring, and then cutting into moving, so it doesn't feel like it doesn't as well jar, if you will. And then when we settle in, that allows us to come in and be nice and still and clean and tight like that. Because like you said, if you move from a handheld shot that's doing this to this, it could take your audience out of the film, which a lot of the times can lose a lot of interest and stuff. You don't want to do that because that's just it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, so the way I teach it is that, your job as a filmmaker is to make the filmmaking process invisible. So when you go in and sit into a theater and the lights go down and you get this, your imagination just can run away with you and you're caught up in the story. And so the Hollywood continuity editing system is all about keeping the audience in the story. And anytime you see a jarring cut or a jarring edit or a camera shake or a boom coming in, that takes you out of the story. So everything
Right.
you're trying to do is keep the audience into the story and keep it moving forward and telling that story.
Right.
So did you guys have a lookbook, or did you talk about visual styles for this?
Yeah. So again, this all started about 2 years ago as a short film. The script was a short film originally, and then when we read it, we were like, "Cool, it's a neat short story, but something like this has to be a feature because there's just too much to it and everything." So for the last 2 years, the director and I have been kind of going back and forth, joking around, like whenever we talk about things that he likes and styles that he likes and stuff like that. And what I did is I took note of that, and when we looked at the script and we went over it together, what I did is I looked at all the things that he liked and put those as a technique to this that will be an asset to the emotional appeal, like handheld and movement and dollies and stuff like that. He's not a big fan of static shots or anything like that. So everything's been on a dolly or handheld and everything. And then the other thing is a lot of times someone would mention a movie like, "Oh man, Man on Fire is awesome," and this and that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I think I'm gonna add a little bit of contrast with the lighting. So if you saw, I had a big negative fill over my back, and that's been on every single shot. And if it's not just a negative fill on my back, they built rooms around me, like literal rooms around me. So we're walking through these big dark rooms and stuff, and then they'll come into fruition in the light and so on and so forth. So we worked on that as far as the technique and stuff in color and contrast. And yeah, that's basically it. I just kind of formulated everything, and then I took all my color schemes and everything and formulated all those. And since it was a faith-based piece, I looked and researched a lot on what color meant to the Bible, and then looked at how color works with emotion. And I married all that stuff together in specific scenes, like red is glorification and enlightenment and stuff like that when it's read in the Bible. But when it comes emotionally, there's a lot of anger and frustration and stuff that red can appeal to an audience. When I did that, there's actually a character that has both of these. They were angry, they were going through frustrations and stuff, and then they did find God in a certain situation and so on and so forth. So these color schemes were not just meant for lighting, but they went through art direction, set design and all that stuff. So we all worked together to formulate all the color schemes and stuff, from lighting to art direction and production design and all that. So
Now, are you shooting this clean, or do you have any LUTs on there?
I'm shooting this clean, and then any kind of color tint fluctuation I'm doing on lighting only. So if I'm outside, I'm shooting 5600. If I'm inside, utilizing tungsten lights. Sorry, it's about to be party time here in Stanford, apparently. But so if I'm inside and it's reading 3200, then we'll set it to 3200 and then manipulate and fluctuate any kind of color temperatures based off of the lighting, not so much in camera. So I'm shooting it very clean.
Good. And so what about your shooting 6K mono? What kind of dynamic range are you getting out of that?
On these right now, I'm getting, I think it's 14 stops latitude, which is a lot. And then we actually are shooting 16 millimeter for the intro, and I'm shooting Ektachrome 100D reversal film, Super 16, and that's going to be for just the intro, kind of like a Wonder Years side by.
Okay.
So I'm getting asked to start working again, unfortunately,
but
but
we'll follow you back to the set.
All right, cool.
So who's the production manager, James? Do you know the production manager?
One moment.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the production manager, I can introduce you. We kind of have.
Yeah, you're getting a little far away now, breaking up on us.
They're actually in a meeting right now. So,
Yeah.
How about Andy? Would you like to talk to Andy?
Yeah, let's talk to Andy. And so,
all right.
I have a bunch of questions.
Excellent. All right, we're now in the camera and audio tent here.
Yeah.
Let me give you a good view.
So,
hey, Andy, you're on camera with DCBS family.
DCBS family.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Give me just one moment.
How you doing?
So you notice Andy has his own tent there. And I could go on and on about audio jokes, but I have a great respect for audio.
Sure.
Yeah, a great respect. So I have a couple questions for you. And so what kind of mixer are you using?
Yeah. I am using a Sound Devices Mix Pre 10, the first version with time code. They have two different Mix Pre 10s, one with and one without time code, because I'm working with film and having to sync audio with camera. We have to have time code.
Yeah.
And while we're on that subject, I use tentacle syncs in order to sync audio with video. And we're using a double system, meaning we're not recording audio to camera. So we really have to have frame accurate time code sync.
Right. And so those have really come down in size over the last couple of years. Those are tiny little things.
They're the size of a matchbox.
Yeah. And what about your shotgun mic? What are you using?
I am using a Sennheiser MKH 416. I have a blimp windshield. I also have what's called a softie, and then just regular foam, depending on if I'm going indoors or outdoors, and depending on how intense the wind is.
Yeah, and what kind of wireless mics are you using?
I am using actually a combination. I'm using the Electrosonics 411s, which are E&G bag style. I also use Sony's because in addition to the lavs and laving the actors, the director and the script supervisor, they need their own wires so they can hear what's going on. So I'll use a combination of wires, but the Electrosonics are the main ones.
Yeah. And so are you recording stems, or are you recording everything individually?
Stems are everything.
I'm recording all ISO tracks. Nowadays, pretty much the way we're editing. See this, what's funny? This is what I've been dealing with all day. And even on my own interview, I can't get away from traffic.
Yeah.
But what were we saying?
Recording ISO.
Camera coming through.
See, man, this is my interview, Ian, not camera. We just got done with Ryan.
Hey, Ian, it's been a long time, man.
Randy, good to see you.
Good to see you.
He's my fave.
He's using the cowboy ring.
So I'm sorry, Randy. What was the?
No, you answered the question. You were recording ISOs on those.
Oh yeah. Given the way we're editing now, and like these scenes, because I'm bagging and having to boom as opposed to just mixing, I'm pretty much just sound gathering as opposed to doing a mix. And we bring it into Premiere, and whoever's editing, I just make sure they cut across all the tracks and don't wash any metadata, or don't go with just one track and then delete all the other tracks, because I'm going to be doing the post-production on this film as well. So that's actually a really cool luxury, because I know as the post audio and mixer, I know what dialogue is coming in. I know where the problems are. If there are sounds that I need in post, I spot them, and I try to get really well recorded production sound effects to save me a lot of time in post production. So that's pretty much what we're doing. I can't hold the boom up with one hand and then get any kind of competent mix.
All right, so that's what I was going to ask you. How many people are you miking at a time?
On this film, I think the most I've had to wire is 4, and that gets kind of crazy because it's just me. I don't have an A2 or a boom. Given this particular project, I opted to do, guys, what we call bag work, where I am also the sound mixer as well as the boom op. So really the challenges I have are not as much, of course I have to get a good placement of the lav, but just the time and the logistics of having to wire one person coming out of wardrobe and then the next person and then get my everything all set up. So it can be anywhere from one actor to 4 or 5. And I think on this film, that's pretty much the biggest scene where there are that many actors talking in one scene, because it's just next to impossible for me to boom and memorize the script to know who's going to be talking. So that's really what happens. We just gather the sound and mix it later.
Yeah, did you do a frequency sweep beforehand, or are you having any problems with getting stepped on out there?
No, I didn't. The Electrosonics are really awesome because they have a scan feature that will give me kind of like a skyline looking graphic of where all the traffic is, so I can tune up that way. But and that's pretty effective as opposed to getting like a frequency scanner. I'm sure if I was doing a lot of this work, I might make an investment like that. But for right now, the Electros do a great job.
Yeah. So, are you having problems with mics sticking, being so sweaty? Are you using vampire clips or using top stick?
I'm using all of it. Yeah. We were doing a scene where one actor had a vampire clip because of his wardrobe. I had another actor where I actually used top stick on his skin, but it was so humid, the microphones would just come off and we would start a take and it'd be like, this sounds horrible. This wasn't the way it sounded when I wired them up. But when you have to wait maybe 15, 20 minutes before we actually run the scene, and depending on the moves, lavs pull off all the time. And no matter how many service loops and pieces of tape you put on, they're going to pull out. Yeah. So I had a few challenges like that, especially today because it was raining and it's so humid.
Yeah. Are you a moleskin guy at all?
Yes and no. I've tried it. I use every now and then I'll use the Rycoat undercovers, which have kind of a double face sticky, and you stick the mic to it and then you can put like a little furry undercover on it. I've used those before. I've used Dr. Scholl's the calluses, the little discs with the hole in them. So you tend to get creative, and the more you do it, you just find ways and you put them in your bag of tricks, and the more you do it, the better you get. I think one of the challenges with wiring is simply just getting in people's personal space. That's really that's the challenge. And I've actually had to have the woman who's doing our wardrobe wire up the female actors, and I would say, okay, well, what are we doing? This, and then I would look at the wardrobe and I'd say, okay, I need you to do it like this. I need you to bring the wire down and do this. And I just hand it to them. And you know what, over time, when you're working with wardrobe, who you really want to befriend, the wardrobe department is what should be one of your best friends, because they're doing, you have to work with them in the wardrobe. And like any other department, wardrobe is no less important than me picking up and messing with a camera or a lighting stand. That's their stuff in their department. So I've been very fortunate on this one to work with our wardrobe Mel, and she's been fantastic. In fact, she's actually turned out to be my wardrobe / sound utility to help me. So that has worked out extremely well. But yeah, I've had to deal with all of this, and what day are we into? We just finished day 4.
Not quite done with day 4.
Not quite done, but it's been great. The crew is awesome, and we're just getting a lot of great stuff.
Salim was asking, did you have to go out and scout the location for any potential sounds, or did did they do that in the location scout at all?
You know, that's very interesting. And I'm going to say this by saying, I love all these guys. They're my colleagues. I've worked with them, but in the end, I can go out on scouts and I can point out where they're going to have the problems. But in the end, it's not about me. It's a matter of the location being right for the story. And I serve the story. I don't serve, what's going to make it easy for me. Like we're up here in Sanford shooting. I shot a film about a year ago up here. And the more locations you become familiar with, oh, we're shooting there. Okay, great. I know what I'm walking into. And then I have to try to do my best to mitigate those potential sound issues. So I on this one, yes, I went out on the locations, and it really becomes more of a logistical thing, just so I know the environment. I know where I have to go. I've been there, so on the day of shooting, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm walking into, and it becomes less for me. It becomes less. Yeah, there are audio challenges, but the more I familiarize myself with the location, then I can go into it with a little more information. And then when I'm with Ryan or Ron, and we're scouting this location, I can have other types of conversations. Okay, well, where are we setting up? What is this shot going to be? And we look at the surroundings, and then I know where I'm going to be setting up. So those things are, I think, for me, every bit as valuable as what I glean from listening to the environment, because I can't change that.
Yeah. So John was asking again, you're using electro mics, but Lobs, your actual mics themselves are using Mickey 2s or Countryman?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, the wireless systems, the transmitter and receivers are electro, but I'm using Sanken COS 11s, which are, I dare say the industry standard, because they're bright. They're a brighter sounding mic, which is great for when you have to put it under clothing. It's like turning up the high frequencies before you record to compensate for putting something over.
Right.
I will use Rode. Rode makes a really good lav, but that particular microphone requires you to buy a particular adapter for the wireless system you are using. However, I have them both for Sony and Electro, and they sound really, really good.
Yeah, they came out with a new one. Now, the thing I like about the Sankens that a lot of people don't realize is that they're very water resistant. So if you're sweating a lot, they do a pretty good job. We used to use them at Nickelodeon when people would get slimed, and we'd actually take the mic and stick it into a thing of hot water to get the slime out of it.
Yes, they are. And they have a very robust cable, except for the fact that I'm using one that's pretty old. And when I got home last night, I noticed there were cracks in the casing of the wire, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't have this.
Yeah.
So I just put E-tape, electrical tape across it just so it wouldn't break, and it worked fine.
Great.
I was very, very fortunate.
Cool. Well, we thank you for talking to us.
Oh.
Can we go and try to find a couple other crew members? We got a few minutes left, and I want to see if we can get a couple.
Oh, and I just want to give a shout out to all my introduction to post-production students. If you don't know me, in my natural habitat, I am production audio, but I'm your course director for intro to post. So thank you for experiencing with us this production with us. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you, Andy. And
you're welcome.
Let's meet one of the women working on the set. Jen was saying. Yeah. So
Absolutely, we have a fantastic script supervisor who I'm usually right next to.
So while he's going to talk to you, let me talk to you about. Andy talked about a couple things like top stick, which is used for toupees, and they use it to stick mics, and then moleskin, which is really used for mold stuff. They cut it.
No, he's gonna be in the garage.
And so a script supervisor works with the director and makes sure that they're getting all the coverage that they need, and they line the script as they go through it and look at different takes and stuff like that. Look for continuity errors, so they're very invaluable. A good script is great old. Never in the area. See lots of different shoots at Full Sail. So if you're going to be in the area, reach out, like Ryan and Ronald or me.
There he is.
So can you hear me, Randy?
I can hear you.
Our script supervisor has stepped away, so I'm actually going to introduce you to our makeup and wardrobe if she is available right now. She looks like she may be.
So let's go back to running it. It's, looking out, peripheral vision.
All right, here she is.
Hi,
Hi. So tell us who you are.
I'm Jen Funk, makeup department head.
Jen Funk. You're the famous makeup artist.
I don't know about famous.
Your work. Yeah. So tell us how your day starts.
Excuse me?
How does your day start?
Oh, my day starts with setting up for all talent, finding the scenes in the scripts so I can figure out their look and make sure the continuity matches throughout the film, and just lining everything up, actor bags and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So you're first in, first out?
Pretty much. Yeah, sometimes very last out, depending on how much, if there's prosthetics and removals.
All right, let's quiet down.
So we're just wrapping down here, guys. Anybody have any more questions? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions before we end tonight?
Please make sure your radios are off.
Okay, here we go, guys. We'll let you go, James, so you can get back to work. Thank you so much. We can't hear Randy. Can you repeat the information about what the script supervisor is? You can't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still?
Okay. Yeah, I have script supervisor here now.
Okay, let's talk to her before we go.
Okay. Okay. Right in a second. Okay, they're actually getting ready to shoot, so we can't talk to script supervisor anymore.
We'll probably be pretty busy here in a second. So that's it. Well, again, James, thank you so much for all your help there on location. This has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was really nice being able to see everybody on set, and for a lot of people who haven't worked on set. I'll talk to you a little bit about somebody was asking about the script supervisor. Script supervisor actually is the person who sits next to the director usually, and they're going through the script and they're trying to figure out, are they getting the lines right? They're feeding the actors lines if they miss it. They're lining the script for different takes. They're making sure that continuity is going really good. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure, and a good script will save you thousands of dollars in post. So okay, I think we're done.
To show you. Yeah. There's our script supervisor that's busy at work. Sorry, guys.
Just real fast, ask her what software she's using.
What software are you using? Scripty.
That's the industry standard, Scripty. Yeah, so great script supervisors are great people. So anyway, thank you guys for coming out tonight. We'll try to have this posted here in the next couple of days on Full Sail One. Anybody have any questions before we go? No?
Professor Randy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sean Williams again. I know we're going to be using the camera based on your email. You stated for like 70% of the course.
Yep.
This month. I just wanted to get an idea, since the syllabus and everything isn't out yet, what are we actually going to be required to do, because I'll be traveling and I want to make sure that I have all the equipment with me that I'm going to need in order to pass the course.
You need the camera and the light camera primarily. You know, those are the two big things. In my class, we're going to be doing week 1 is an interior shot. Week 2 is 2 exterior shots and an interior shot. And week 3 is interviews setups, 2 interview setups. So you're going to be lighting and shooting those, and then getting stills off of those to turn in. So it's a pretty standard, basic, you know, camera, tripod, and all 3 lights.
Okay, I just got to see how I could get these lights on the plane, because I'm coming back to the States.
Yeah. So you're going from Germany back to the States?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, once you get back, let's talk, and I can probably give you some options about, you know, if you aren't able to bring him back, what we can do to help you.
Okay. Well, I'm only there for the summer, so that's what I'm trying to find out exactly. So I will also talk with the airlines and let them know that I'm a student before I even get on the plane.
The wrap. We just saw the wrap.
So I appreciate the info.
Yeah, no problem. So one of the things.
Thank you so much.
12-hour day.
Thank you.
It's a lot of hard work. Long day. Anyway, so that's it for us tonight. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks again, James, for all your hard work. You did a wonderful job. This is kind of cool. Hopefully next time we can use Ecamm Live to add a little bit more, you know, production value.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thanks again, guys. Talk to you soon.